Black and minority farmers will begin receiving discrimination relief payments from the USDA after years of bias in the agency's farm loan program. The Biden administration announced more than $2 billion in assistance payments have just been made. John Boyd Jr. has been in the fight for black farmers in the U.S. for a very long time, trying to bring equity and relief in a variety of ways. He's also the founder and president of the National Black Farmers Association. John, great to see you.
Fred, thank you so much for having me. It's always wonderful to join you.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you could be with us. So President Biden, said he had unfinished business that he wanted to tackle before the end of his term. And this week, more of the some 43,000 black farmers will start receiving relief checks. The average award is $82,000. So help people understand why these checks are coming and how they will be put to use.
Yes, well, this passed under the Inflation Reduction Act is where this measure actually passed for $2.2 billion. There were 60,000 plus applications that went in. The National Black Farmers Association, Frederick, we see this as a huge victory for us. And we went out on the road and held 60 meetings around the country where thousands of black farmers attended. We sent out 130,000 postcards. And I was pleased when I saw the number was 45,000 that was approved. And I'm already hearing from farmers that are receiving their checks. If you attempted to farm, that amount was between 3,000 and 6,000. And for the actual farmers themselves, the average was about, like you said, 83,000. I've heard some farmers the max for 500,000. So this is very, very good news for black farmers who are struggling to hold on to their farming operation. This is long overdue justice and much welcome good news.
My goodness. So, there's long been a disparity, right, in the USDA loans between black farmers versus farmers in other racial groups. Here are some of the stats that we were able to dig up last year. Black farmers were denied 43% of the time. So how do you hope or see this payment program leading to breaking a cycle? Because that's been the allegation that you and many farmers, especially your organization, has been saying for a very long time. It's been a cycle, a years-long cycle.
Yes, and black farmers we endured so much discrimination, especially at the hands of the United States Department of Agriculture. At the turn of the century, there were 1 million black farm families in the United States. We were tilling 20 million acres of land. We're now down to 3.5 million acres of land and roughly hovering about 50,000 black farmers. So per these statistics, we're less than 1% of the actual nation's farmers. But I do want to clear one thing. Yeah. The sign-up period for this program has already expired. Our phones have been ringing off the hook. The application period was from July from last year, and the deadline was January the 17th of this year. So the sign-up period is over, and like I said, we held a lot of meetings, and we helped each and every one of those farmers. It took us, Frederica, about 3.5 hours on each farmer to fill those applications out and send them in. And congratulations to those who got it, and for those who didn't, I'm very, very sorry. And there's a lot of misinformation out there. And we see it this time we should have listened to the messenger, the guy who's been out here for 41 years. And I tried to help each and every one of these farmers because I know that they've been brutally mistreated, especially by our government. The very government supposed to lift a hand was taking us out.
Wow, so that's very unfortunate for a lot of people who are still trying to get assistance, didn't know about the deadline that you are speaking of, but do still, and they are still reaching out to you to find out. Is it your hope then that there will be another application season? What do you end up telling them?
Well, here's the thing, Frederick. We didn't get the $5 billion in debt relief, so I want to clear that up too. That measure is in federal court, we're represented by Attorney Ben Crump. But I've been pushing the administration and in conversations with the administration about by executive order coming forward with that relief, $5 billion in debt relief that will return the land to those black farmers who are still have their deeds of trust tied up with the United States Department of Agriculture. So I want to separate the two. The payments were different. than the actual debt relief itself.
Wow. Okay. Hey, I want to ask you real quick too. And I realize that it's a different organization, but the Black Farmers and Agriculturalist Association, which says it has about 20,000 members, tried to get this relief program suspended, saying the discrimination financial assistance program should be open to applicants filing on behalf of their deceased relatives who face discrimination. What has been your thought on that?
Well, that's Frederica, that's called reparations, and that would be every descendant of a farm or black person in this country. And I certainly would like to see the courts take that up, a reparation case in the United States, because black people never got reparations. But this wasn't the program. This was a targeted language specifically drafted by Congress that said you had to be a farmer or attempted to farm. USDA added the latter part of that, attempted to farm. So the language never addressed heirs. This was the language we were dealt with, and I went out and done the best I could within the definition that was provided to us by an act of Congress. And I think we've done a very good job getting the word out. 60,000 people applied, 45,000 people received debt, and about $1.5 billion went specifically to blacks. So there were other target groups that were eligible to take part in this. Native American farmers, I've heard from them that are receiving checks, and Hispanics and others. So we take it as a huge win, and take it as for many black farmers who are struggling, who needed the money right now. And the Biden administration did come through on this piece. And again, I would like to sit down, Frederica, with the president and talk to him about the latter part, which is the debt relief, which is the land. As you've been covering this issue for decades, and you know that I've been after the land. And this is an opportune time for the president to grant that by the executive order.
Yeah, I know you've been on it for a very long time. We've talked about it for a very long time. And congratulations, especially since you are considering this a huge victory, and so are so many of these 40,000 farmers. And maybe, since there is still unfinished business by the Biden administration, he says, maybe you will get that FaceTime, that one-on-one with him to try and keep it going. John Boyd, Jr., thank you so much. Always great to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Matt.